Hello everybody, Killatia here, and yes, we are reviewing Dragon Ball Xenoverse for the Xbox One. Also available on the PS3, PS4, 360, and the PC. Before we dive right in, I want to thank my pal Ramon over at GotGame and Bandai Namco for hooking me up with a review copy of said game. Would have been up sooner, but the postal service was kind of late delivering me the game in a timely manner, so let's go on ahead and dive into the review now. I do have to say that I like the introduction in Dragon Ball Xenoverse, where you're playing as Goku, fighting some of his greatest battles against Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu. It's a great way to get a hang of the gameplay and the controls without playing an actual tutorial mode that would have most likely treated you like an idiot. I liked it, and I wish I could have seen more of this in many other games. After playing as Goku for a bit, as well as watching a well animated introduction, you get to be able to create your own characters from Earthlings, Manekians, Saiyans, which, considering your character is supposed to be from the future, doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Saiyans to be around, and of course the Frieza race. And silly me, I almost forgot to mention the Majin races. My apologies. After creating your own character, you quickly learn later on that evil beings are trying to alter the history of Dragon Ball to fit their own needs, and it's up to you and future Trunks to stop them. Which is kind of ironic considering that future Trunks did alter the timeline at one point, even though it was for the safety of Earth. While technically you are playing the same storyline all over again, the time-altering storyline does give this game a much-needed change of pace that so many Dragon Ball fans have been hungering for. For example, in the first invasion by Vegeta and Nappa, they didn't just grew Cybermen, they also grew Tenaman, Jinkoman, Copyman, and what other men they could possibly think of. Like I said before, it's a nice change of pace from previous Dragon Ball Z games. Besides the main storyline, there is also parallel quests to take part in, which, while it's not 100% necessary to do, you do kinda need to do them if you want to get some new abilities, skills, and even costumes if you're really into customization. Not to mention, it's a good way to gain some extra experience points for your characters. Before we continue on, I do have to say that I do enjoy the fantastic graphics in this game, but the 2D audience in this stage is really distracting in my opinion. And considering that many of Dragon Ball's Xenoverse concept came from the now defunct Korean MMORPG, Dragon Ball Online, you can of course expect an online mode that's very reminiscent of an MMORPG. And I do have to say, it's quite fun to team up with several other people online and take down a pretty hard, demanding quest. As much as I have enjoyed Dragon Ball Xenoverse, I do have some gripes with it. For example, the game only really covers the entire Dragon Ball Z storyline from the Saiyan Saga up to the Battle of God movie, but not the original Dragon Ball story. It's really a shame, as I would have really loved to team up with a younger Goku as he goes to face off the Red Ribbon Army all by himself. Heck, Dragon Ball GT, a anime that pretty much got decannoned by Battle of God and the upcoming resurrection of Frieza, gets more love than the original Dragon Ball. Now granted, It is in the form of DLC, but even in DLC, Dragon Ball GT seems to be getting more love than the original Dragon Ball story. And while the online servers has actually been doing pretty good the past few days as of this review, it still doesn't change the fact that there have been some servers issues since the launch of Dragon Ball Xenoverse. And when you have a game that's pretty much focused on the online aspect, that's pretty unforgivable in my book. And yes, I know there is offline multiplayer that you can play with your friends, and it can be pretty fun. However, for some odd reason, I seem to have a harder time making an offline gameplay for me and my friends than it was for online play. I'm not sure if it was just me, or if because the way the game handles all of its gameplay modes through Toki Toki City. I'm just not sure. A friend of mine also had concern about some of the balances with the characters, but I'd be even more concerned if a Cyberman can go toe to toe with Rikum of the Ginyu-Force. Seriously, the only thing threatening about a Cyberman is how they blew up Yamcha. Overall, Dragon Ball Xenoverse may not be the best Dragon Ball game. That distinction, in my opinion, goes to Dragon Ball Budokai 3, but it's definitely one of the best, or one of the better Dragon Ball Z games to come out in recent years. And it does the impossible by change up the storyline that may not be fresh, but definitely unique. Hardcore Dragon Ball Z fans probably already have this game, but if you are still on the fence, go on ahead and pick it up. My final rating for Dragon Ball Xenoverse is a solid B. This is Killatia signing off. Hope to see you next time.